These are boxes, and these are boxes, and these, and these, and in them train stuff. Wheels, boxcars, locomotives, accessories, who knows what all. It's what's in the boxes, in fact, that makes this story so intriguing. Once the things in the boxes were here at a legendary Lionel train store in New York, New York, named Madison Hardware. Madison Hardware was owned and operated for more than 60 years by Shur and Carl Shaw. They hovered over the largest inventory of original Lionel trains and parts in the world. It was the sort of store that collectors made pilgrimages to, regardless of whether they bought anything or not. In the summer of 1989, Lou and Carl, then 89 and 85 respectively, closed the store and sold its contents to Richard Kughn, chairman of the board of Lionel Trains. The deal had nothing to do with the Lionel Company, but was a private venture on Kuhn's part. Kughn wanted to move Madison Hardware from New York to Detroit, his home base. He sent an assistant, Chuck Leibrock, to oversee the move. Not only did Kughn want all the inventory,
he also specified we literally bring back Madison Hardware lock, stock, and barrel. That includes all the shelving, the stools, the desks, the cash registers, all dismantling the front window, those gorgeous drawers that were in the back that were right by Lou and Carl that held all the parts for all those years, the wooden oak drawers.
It took almost 2 months, 16 semi-trailer trucks, and 1,700 huge boxes to complete the move. Now, all those boxes that once were at Madison in New York are here in Detroit, in a big warehouse that carries the same name, Madison Hardware. And for more than a year, workers have been unloading those boxes, while tin plate fans across the country have been wondering what has been found, what eventually will be sold. Unloading and classifying the entire inventory of Madison Hardware has been a big job, but not as arduous as packing and moving it out of the old store during the hot summer of '89.
13 movers, 5 to 6 days a week, and we're talking long days. We're talking packing trucks till 10:15 at night and starting very early in the morning, all day long. No air conditioning, of course. This is July and August heat. It was amazing. Trains, all ages and gauges, hanging on shelves on the floor in the corner behind the door. It was incredible. It really was incredible. I feel it was difficult for Lou and Carl to have to up and move after they had invested their entire life in Madison. We felt that we were taking away history, tearing it down, and creating it at the same time. It was very emotional. Carl and I used to play this game. We used to walk around the different warehouses, and Carl would pick up a part off the floor and say, "Charlie, what's this?" And I'd tell him. And I'd try to find some obscure part and walk up to Carl and say, "Carl, what's this?" And we'd always try to catch each other. Carl really knew his parts. Well, so far I was doing pretty good, but one day he held up what looked like a nickel railing on the sign of a horseshoe. He says, "Charlie, what's this?" He had a grin on his face because he knew he had me. I looked at that. I said, "Well, geez, it's not wide enough to be a standard gauge tank car railing, and it's too big to be any kind of other handrail for anything." And he smiles and says, "How about the railing that goes on a 440 signal bridge?" He got me that day. Lou Shur once told me a story. He said, one day, somewhere in the late 40s, early 50s, he got a phone call from Lionel, and it was Pop. And Lionel said, "Lou, we're short on cattle cars. We need cattle cars. Would you mind terribly if we came down and borrowed some cattle cars from you, and we'll return them next time we make the next run?" And Lou said, "Sure, whatever you need." They needed 600 of them. And Lou was able to supply Lionel with 600 cattle cars. Now this is the operating orange cattle car with the green yellow pen. 600 separate sale cattle cars. And that's just one item. Can you imagine the kind of volume they did back then? He was approached by American Flyer Company many times, their salesman, to in fact carry Flyer and put it in the store window. And Lou said the main reason he did not was out of respect for Josh. Everything was removed except the dirt and the dust left on the floor and some sawdust and the phone system. Well, one of the things I wanted to do was remove the phone so they could not be used after I left, turn over the key. Right when I went to rip the phone cord out of the wall, the phone rings. Well, I answer it, Madison Hardware. It was Richard Kughn calling. That was the last phone call made to Madison Hardware at the old phone number 777-1111. It was also Joshua Cowan's birthday, August 25th.
In Detroit, the 1,700 boxes were unloaded at their present location in February of 1990. Slowly, through the months, the stacks of unopened boxes have diminished, and the shelves in the back have begun to fill with inventory. Eventually, everything will be on the shelves and identified. Until then, the sorting process continues, while Madison Hardware prepares to open for business. One of the first things Madison Hardware will be selling is this exclusive boxcar.
This is a Lionel limited edition operating boxcar. The man unloads a Lionel miniature train set. Comes with die-cast sprung trucks.
It's a daunting task getting Madison Hardware ready to reopen in Detroit. There's still a lot of boxes to go, but the job is made easier knowing any one of them may contain some delightful surprises.
Here's a brand new pre-war cab, an original factory wrap. The front end to a 746, brand new. For post-war, 221T, could be gray or black. This one's black, brand new, like the day it was made. Here's the box of the, this is for the smoke bulb for the early 46 turbines and Berkshires with the smoke, anything that requires a smoke bulb. Brand new, Basco Ridge base plate. There's a whole box of them in here. The bulk of the box are brand new 6801 boat cars. They're new, here you go, HO billboards. You never know what you're going to find.